Very good morning, everyone. Shall we start? Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shall we start?
Yes, sir. We will start.
Yeah, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಗ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಪ್ಪ. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಏನೋ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನೋ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವೇನೋ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ.
ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್.
ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಗ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆಮ್ಮ. Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. In the last class, we was discussing about indirect and direct semiconductor. Also, the electron and hole concept we was discussed. In the today's class, we will discuss intrinsic and extrinsic materials. Intrinsic and extrinsic material. Before entering to this particular topic, intrinsic as well as the extrinsic semiconductor, first we will recall what already the information we know about intrinsic and extrinsic materials. Okay, so first, anyone can you tell me the definition of an intrinsic material? Anyone, will you tell me the definition or concept of an intrinsic semiconducting material? If you want, you can take the help of what the picture I have displayed in the slide.
It is the undoped structure of a silicon atom.
Yes, exactly. It is a undoped structure of an silicon atom. Okay, so undoped silicon atom. Can you tell me the difference between the intrinsic and extrinsic? What is the necessity for going for the extrinsic for fabrication of some active elements like PN junction diode, transistor, MOSFET, JFET, something like that? Why we will always prefer the extrinsic materials? What are the advantages of an extrinsic material and what are the disadvantages of an intrinsic material? Yeah.
Stability, sir.
Sorry, I didn't hear you properly. Once again.
Stability, sir.
Stability. Okay. That is another. Okay, stability. Then other than the stability, what exactly we required in the extrinsic material or for an conductor or for
Free electrons. Okay,
free. Not only the free electron, we can take for the whole concept also. Even due to holes also we can generate a current. Yes, it's based on which type of a material you are going to fabricate. For example, if you are going to fabricate a bipolar junction transistor, you require the electron as well as the hole for its conduction. If you go for the MOSFET as well as the JFET, it is a unipolar device. It is a unipolar means it is any one of the charge carrier is required to constitute a current in the JFET as well as the MOSFET. Okay, so the extrinsic is not only for generation of an electron, it's also generation for an hole. Okay, so in semiconductor or in the active element, using electron as well as the hole, we can generate the current. Okay, that is the one more answer. The other than that, okay, the first one, somebody told the stability. If we go for the extrinsic semiconducting material instead of an intrinsic, the stability of that particular material, it will be improvised. Okay, I will accept your answer. Can you tell me in what way? Will you elaborate little bit of the title? Stability. Anyone?
Because of doping, that concentration will be changed, and basis of that, because of that, the stability will be increased.
Yeah, actually, the first day in the prerequisite classes, I have given you one examples to you. Okay, in the gold we have a different varieties. Okay, 24 karat and 22 karat and 20 karat and 18 karat, something like that. Okay, So obviously for daily usage ornament and all, we will prefer only 22 carat as well as the 20 carat. We are not going for the 24 carat. It is clear? Okay. So the 24 carat, 22 carat and 20 carat, this all it will be represents the purity of the gold. Okay. In 24 carat, the purity of the gold, it will be more. In the 22 carat, the purity of the gold little less, not around 50% is not reduced, only small percentage. For example, 96% of an gold content, it will be there in the 24 carat, means around somewhere around 88 or 90% of the gold content, it will be there in the 22 carat. Only that much difference it will be there. Okay. So normally, I mean, the regular usage of an ornament and all, we will prefer the 20 carat. Okay. 20 carat means somewhere the gold percentage is around somewhere around 80 to 85%. Okay. The remaining 15 to 20% of an impurity we are going to add it in that. Correct. Impurity to the gold means obviously they are going to mix with the copper. Correct. They are going to mix with the copper. What is the necessity for mixing the copper with the purest form of the gold? For increasing the stability. Stability in terms of what? The stability word is correct, but in which?
Hardness.
Yeah, hardness, the hardness of the gold. Okay. In terms of an hardness of the gold, we are going to intentionally we are going to add some of the impurity atom to the purest form of the gold. Okay. In such a way that the stability or the hardness of the gold we are going to increases. Okay. In that context, we will take for the semiconductor also. Okay. For the intrinsic, what it will be do, you can generate the electron hole pair. You can generate the electron hole pair. Once you going to calculate the conductivity and resistivity of those particular element and all, we will get the better result in the extrinsic. We will get the better result in the extrinsic. Hence, intentionally, we are going to do some of the impurity atom to the purest form of the semiconducting material that we called as an extrinsic material. Okay, fine. So in the coming slide, we will discuss what are the disadvantages of the intrinsic and what are the types of an extrinsic, how they are going to fabricate those things and all that we will discuss in the coming slide. First, we will start from the intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, as you know, intrinsic semiconducting material means it is the purest form of the n number of an silicon atom. Actually, what the picture I have displayed in the screen, it is a crystal lattice. It is the crystal lattice. This crystal lattice, it consisting of an n number of an silicon atom. Okay, it consisting of an n number of an silicon atom. That n number of an silicon atom, we are arranged in this fashion. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so in the intrinsic semiconductor, what we can do, there's the only two things we can do here. Okay, at 0 degree Kelvin, what the energy it will be there in the outermost valence electrons are there, what are the energy it having, with the help of that energy, they are going to do a two job in that, what we was discussed in the previous classes and all. Okay, the first set of energy, it will be utilizing for simply roaming in the same axis. The second set of energy, it will be utilizing for doing the valency stabilization job. These two things, it will be happen at 0 degree Kelvin. Please don't make and confuse with 0 degree Kelvin process as well as the 300 degree Kelvin process. Okay, at 0 degree itself, the electron, it will be involving in the valency stabilization work in the valency band. Okay, so as per the energy band theory, we have three bands in the semiconductor. One is the valence band, the second one is the conduction band, the middle one we called as an forbidden band. Okay, valence band, conduction band, the middle one we called as an forbidden band. Okay, once again, as per the energy band diagram, initially the valence band consisting of an full of electron. For example, 4n available states are there in the valence band as well as the conduction band, means all the 4n available states are filled with the electron in the valency band. Okay, so in the conduction band, all the 4n available states are empty. Okay, out of 4n available state, only 0 states are filled in the conduction band at 0 degree Kelvin. Okay, at 0 degree Kelvin. Okay, so at 0 degree Kelvin, the valency stabilization work, it will be happening in the valency band. That's fine. Okay, so now I am going to increase the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin. When you are going to increase the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin, what are the process it will be happen? What process it will be happen?
Electrons will be excited.
Yeah, the electron it will be excite. When you are changing the temperature due to the thermal energy, few electron it will be get the additional energy. Additional energy means what? Initially it having some energy. Okay, initially it have some potential. That potential or energy it is utilizing only for doing the or performing the valence stabilization work. When you are changing the temperature, it will get some more additional energy due to the thermal. Okay, when it will get some more additional energy, now that particular electron it will be coming out of the valence orbit, or simply you can tell it will be coming out of the valence band and it will be moved to the conduction band. Okay, that moved electron or diffused electron only we are called as an free electron or conduction electron. Free electron or conduction electron. How many electrons you are going to excited in the valency band, or how many electron you are going to remove from the valency band, that many number of holes it will be created in the valency band itself. Okay, at the same time in the last class with the help of an EK diagram, how the electron energy it will be vary and how the hole energy it will be vary with respect to temperature, with respect to EK diagram. This all the complete study we have done in the last class. Okay, so once again you need not to write the same story in this concept, but you have to conclude in a 2 line. Okay, it's enough for us. Okay, the electron when it will be start moving towards the conduction band, the energy it will be goes on increases. When the hole it will be start moving downward, okay, the hole's energy it will be increases. Okay, if the electron or hole it will be moving with the k direction. K direction means what? X-axis, horizontally with some momentum. Okay, with some momentum it will be losing its energy in the form of an heat. It will be losing its energy in the form of an heat. That concept we was studied in the direct as well as the indirect semiconductor and all. Okay, this all the information we are already gathered from previous topics and all. Now actually I have written your first equation here. N equal to P, P equal to Ni. Can you tell me what is the meaning of that? N equal to P and P equal to Ni. What is the meaning of that? Here N stand for, and what is P stand for, and what is Ni stand for?
So N is holes per centimeter cube. Sorry, electrons per centimeter cube, and
exactly.
P is holes per centimeter cube.
Yeah, you are right. And what about Ni?
I don't know, sir.
Okay, it is an intrinsic particle, number of intrinsic particle. Ni stand for number of intrinsic particle. Okay, for understanding this equation, just I will give you one small example. Okay, so let us assume totally in this silicon crystal lattice, we have a 1 lakh of silicon atom. We have a 1 lakh of silicon atom. Okay, when you are giving the additional thermal energy, or when you are changing the temperature from 0 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees 300 degrees Celsius. Okay, sorry, 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin. In terms of Celsius, it will be room degree temperature 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, that situation only 1000 electrons have excited, and that 1000 electron it will be moved to the conduction band. That 1000 electron it will be moved to the conduction band. Okay, so now can you tell me how many holes it will be created in the valency band once the 1000 electron it will be moved to the conduction band due to the thermal change?
1000 holes.
It will be 1000 holes. Okay, so totally 1 lakh of an silicon atoms are there. Out of 1 lakh of silicon atoms, only 1000 electron are excited when you are changing the temperature. That 1000 electron finally it will move to the conduction band. Once the 1000 electron it will be moved to the conduction band, that many number of atoms hole it will be created in the valency band. Okay, so now I can tell N it will be equal to P. Okay, this statement is proved. N it will be equal to P. How many electron? you are going to excite it, that many number of volts it will be created in the crystal lattice. N is equal to P. Now N equal to P, it will be equal to Ni. Ni stand for, I already told, number of intrinsic particle. 1000 electron, 1000 volts, and 1000 intrinsic particle. The intrinsic particle is not never become multiplied by N and P and addition of N and P and subtraction of N and P. It will be same as N or P. It will be same as N or P. Okay. So now as per the first equation, if you are exciting the 1000 electron, N will be equal to 1000, P will be equal to 1000, and Ni is also, it will be equal to 1000. Okay. This equation, it will be represent how many number of intrinsic particles are there, the same number of an hole and electrons it will be created in the intrinsic semiconductor. Okay. This is the statement 1. Okay. So now I will move to the second equation. Ri, it will be equal to Gi. Ri, it will be equal to Gi. Anyone, will you guess what this equation it will be represents us? Ri, it will be equal to Gi. Ri, it will be equal to Gi. Will you guess what is that?
Energy to the number of electrons ejected.
No, it's not about energy. Okay, here R stand for recombination. R stand for recombination, electron recombination. G stand for number of electron and hole generation. Okay, this is the generation of EHP. EHP stand for electron hole pair. Okay, Ri stand for the number of recombination of electron. Okay, so now can you tell me, at least now can you tell me what this equation represents to us? This equation directly you can tell Ri, it will be equal to Gi, means the number of electron hole pair generation, it will be equal to number of recombination. It is as very simple. Okay, so now will you explain how it will be? How this Ri, it will be equal to Gi?
Equilibrium, sir.
Equilibrium, exactly, you are right. Will you elaborate that?
At 25 degrees Celsius, the rate of production of EHP is equals to rate of recombination of electron hole pair.
No, it not exactly at 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, at
Means
25 degrees, yeah.
Any temperature.
Yeah. When temperature changing, okay. So with respect to temperature changing, few electron it will be get excited and it will be moved to the valency band to conduction band. Okay, fine, correct. How many electrons it will be moving from valency band to conduction band? Let us take, it will be 500. The same number of an hole it will be created in the same number of hole it will be created in the valency band itself. Okay, so now, okay, all 500 electron, when the temperature it will be start decreasing, obviously it will be start moving towards its original state, correct, original destiny, correct, move to its original destiny. Okay, so now, okay, out of 500 electron, out of 500 electron it will be get excited when you are changing the temperature. Now 100 electron it will be moved to its original destiny, correct, move to its original destiny, the movement of that electron and going to occupy the same position, correct. So that process only we are called as an electron recombination, right, correct. Once the electron it will be coming out of the valency band, that vacancy it will be created, correct. So when that electron it will be go and occupy that same vacancy, that process only we are called as an electron recombination. Now out of 500 electron, okay, out of 500 electron, okay, 100 electron it will be get recombined. Okay, out of 100 electron it will be recombined. Okay, 100 electron it will be recombined, means okay, the same amount of an generated electron it will be get reduced. Okay, so now generation is also 400. Now the remaining 400 electrons are ready to recombine in the next state when you are changing the temperature, when you are start decreasing the temperature from 25 degrees Celsius to some degree Celsius, or when the electron it will be start moving horizontally, correct? So when the electron it will be start moving horizontally means with some momentum. K stand for wave vector, correct? So some momentum, obviously it will lose its energy in the form of heat. It will lose its energy in the form of heat. Once the electron it will be loses its energy, obviously once again it will be go back to its original destiny. Go back to its original destiny. Okay, in such a way that I am going to prove Ri it will be equal to Gi. Okay, the same way the third expression, okay, Ri it will be equal to, this is alpha R stand for proportionality constant, recombination proportionality constant. Okay, that proportionality I have removed here and I am using the equal sign here, alpha R N naught and P naught, alpha naught N naught and P naught. Alpha R N naught and P naught, it will be equal to alpha R Ni square. It will be equal to Gi. Once again, I am going to prove Ri it will be equal to Gi only, but in another way. That's all. Okay. So now I will tell this meaning here. What the third equation it will be represented to us. Okay. So here each of this rate is temperature dependent. Each of this rates is temperature dependent. For example, Gi of T. Gi of T means Gi stand for generation of an electron with respect to temperature increases. Okay, Gi of T increases when the temperature is raised and a new carrier concentration Ni is established. A new carrier concentration Ni is established such that the higher recombination rate Ri of T just balanced. Okay, such that the higher recombination rate Ri of T just balanced generation. At any temperature, we can predict that the rate of recombination of electron and holes Ri is proportional to equilibrium concentration of electron N naught and concentration of holes P naught. It is clear? At any temperature, we can predict that the rate of recombination means Ri, it will be equal to, it will be proportional to equilibrium concentration of electrons N naught and concentration of holes P naught. Okay, and finally you can say that Ri it will be equal to Gi. In the problem, you for calculating the Ri or Gi, you can use the formula alpha R times of N naught into P naught. N naught stand for the concentration of electron, P naught stand for concentration of holes. Okay, this all the things it will be happen in the intrinsic. Okay, totally here we are going to gather only two things, excluding what are the information already you are aware about intrinsic. Okay, the one is N will be equal to P, it will be equal to Ni. This is the first equation. The second equation, Ri it will be equal to Gi only. Okay, so now at any temperature we are going to represent the same second equation in another form with using the proportionality as well as the concentration of electron as well as the holes. Correct? That only I am rewriting the equation number 2 and I am presenting here. Ri it will be equal to alpha R times of N naught into P naught. Only these three things we are going to study in this particular intrinsic materials, excluding the basic information of the intrinsic materials. Okay, so actually when T will be equal to 0 degree Kelvin, how the electrons it will be perform or how the electrons it will be involving in the valency stabilization work. Okay, that only I am trying to representing here. Just check it out here. This is the centered silicon atom. This centered silicon atom, it will be doing a covalent bonding with the top of the silicon atom as well as bottom of the silicon atom and left side of the silicon atom as well as the right side of the silicon atom. When it will be establishing covalent bond with the neighbor 4 silicon atom, then only the center silicon atom, it will be the center silicon atom valency band, it will be stabilized. Okay, the center silicon atom valency orbit, it will be stabilized because of the initially the silicon atom consisting of an 4 valence electron. It will be sharing 1 electron with the top, 1 electron with the bottom, 1 electron with the left, and 1 electron with the right. Okay, totally 4 electron it will be sharing with the 4 neighbor silicon atom, and finally it having an 8 electrons. Once the outermost orbit it consisting of an 8 electron, that as per the Bohr and Bury model, that valency it will be stabilized. Okay, and one more thing we can explain with the help of the same diagram. What is that? This all the things it will be happen at 0 degree. Now you are changing the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin. When you are changing the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin, what it will be happen? Few electron it will be get excited. Once the few electron it will be get excited, it will be moving to the conduction band. Okay, so those electron only we are referred as an free electron, right? At the same time, how many electron it will be coming out of the valency band, that many number of holes it will be created. That many number of holes it will be created in the valency band. That information only I have represented here. Just check it out. It's possible to see the electron as free electron as well as the hole creation. It's possible to distinguish in this particular picture. Just check it out. This blue colored dot, it will be represents the free electron. Represents the free electron means this electron it will be escaping from this orbit. Just check it out. Okay, it will be escaping from this orbit. Initially, this electron it will be forming a covalent bond with this silicon atom. Once you changing the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin, that electron it will be coming out of this orbit. Once this electron it will be coming out of this orbit, this electron now it will be free now. Okay, this electron now it will become free. Okay, how many electron it will be coming out of that particular covalent bond, that many number of hole it will be created. Just check it out here. 1 electron it will be coming out, 1 hole it will be created. So here also 1 electron it will be coming out and 1 hole it will be created. The same way here also 1 electron it will be coming out, 1 hole it will be created. This process it will be happen when you are changing the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin. The two things you can explain. Even at 0 degree Kelvin also you can explain. At 300 degree Kelvin phenomenon also you can explain. Or otherwise, if time permit, you can write a 2 different diagram for 0 degree Kelvin as well as the 300 degree Kelvin and give the explanation separately. There is no problem. It depends on the time permit. Or the same, that both the information you are going to represent with the same picture, no problem. Or if you represent the 2 pictures for the different explanation, there is no problem. That's as your wish. Okay, so if you make separate the 2 things, the 2 different diagram, one diagram it will be carry 1 marks, or otherwise if you represent the 2 information in the same picture, that marks allocation it will be 2 marks for the diagram, no problem. Okay, so this is all about the intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, now we are going to study what are the disadvantages of an intrinsic semiconductor. What are the disadvantages of the intrinsic semiconductor? Then we will move to the extrinsic. Okay, so now I am going to display the disadvantages of an intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, the first disadvantages of the intrinsic semiconductor is current controlled by temperature. Current control by temperature, not by us. Current controlled by temperature, not by us. When you are going to change the temperature, that many number of electron and holes it will be created. Electron hole pair it will be created. For example, when you are changing the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to 300 degree Kelvin, let us take only 100 electron it will be moved to the conduction band and 100 holes it will be created in the valency. Now you keep on changing the temperature from 25 degrees Celsius to 30 degree, 50 degree, 100 degree, something like that. The concentration of an electron hole pair it will be increases. When the concentration of electron hole pair it will be start increasing, definitely the current it will be start fluctuating or it will become a constant. That current due to electron or hole, whatever it may be. My question is, the current it will be start fluctuating with respect to temperature, or throughout the temperature the current value it will be same in the intrinsic?
Fluctuating. It
will be fluctuating. Okay, so that is the another way. I hope you people are aware, some of the electronic gadget, when the current it will be start fluctuating, correct? So it will get damaged. It will get damaged, correct? So hence we are not going to use this kind of an intrinsic material for the fabrication of so on so active elements. Okay, that is the one drawback of this. The second one, current is very small. The current is very small. Okay, let us take for running or for turn on a one particular SL100 or SK100 transistor. Okay, so you required somewhere around 100 milliampere of current. 100 milliampere of current. Okay, but if you are going to use the intrinsic for the fabrication of those active element, it will be provide maximum of only 10 milliamperes, maximum of only 10 milliampere. Now you keep on changing the temperature. Now you keep on changing the temperature. Let it be, it will be 10 times. Correct. So when you are keep on changing the temperature with respect to 10 times of the previous one, then only it will be satisfied the required level. That 100 milliampere, that's okay, fine. But if you required in terms of an 500 milli or 1 ampere, 2 ampere, 3 ampere of an current for turn on of that normal transistor or power transistor, whatever it may be, correct. So in that situation, we are not able to meet the required level with respect to the current. We are not able to meet the required level with respect to the current. So once again, due to this second statement also, we are going to fail in the intrinsic part. Okay, so hence we are going to not using the intrinsic. Okay, that is the second thing. Next one, coming to the third disadvantages of the intrinsic, correct? So as per the equation number 1, what we was studied, the equation number says that the number of electron generated, it will be equal to number of hole, or the number of electron, it will be equal to number of hole always, correct? You can change the temperature from 0 degree Kelvin to at any temperature level. This equation, it will be same. This equation is never changed, but only the concentration of electron and concentration of hole, it will be changed with respect to temperature. But this statement, Ne, it will be equal to NH, this statement is not failed. Okay, so when temperature T will be equal to 100 degrees Celsius or 200 very high degree temperature, correct? So even that condition also, the number of electron and the number of hole, it will be same. The number of electron and number of hole, it will be same. For making a sum device, actually we required Ne not equal to NH condition. Ne not equal to NH condition. So okay, we don't want the Ne, it will be equal to NH condition. Once again, with the help of a third point also, we are going to say that we are not, due to this factor, we are not going to use the intrinsic material for the fabrication of so on so active element. Okay, so just with the help of these three concepts, you can say that what are the disadvantages of the intrinsic and what are the advantages of the extrinsic. Now, once again, you can write the advantages of an extrinsic while seeing these things. Okay, what are the advantages of an extrinsic? Will you tell me? Advantages of an extrinsic semiconducting material?
Current flows even in low temperature.
Yeah, current control, it will be with us. Andre, for example, you can bias a one particular PN junction diode. Okay, so when you are going to provide 1 volt voltage, 1 volt of an voltage, correct? So that time only some amperes of current it will be flowing through the diode. I am correct? So now you can keep on increasing the voltage level, what you have applied or what you have biased, correct? So with respect to applied voltage, the current it will be start fluctuating. It not with respect to temperature. It not with respect to temperature means what? I am going to control the generation of current in the PN junction diode, or I am going to control the current in the transistor with the help of an voltage batteries, with the help of an battery. That is the one advantages in the extrinsic. The second one, current is very small. Okay, due to adding an pentavalent or trivalent impurity, correct? So ivaga ಎರಡರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, let it be pentavalent impurity, correct? So if you add a pentavalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon atom, correct, what it will be happen?
Regular.
Free electrons just.
Yeah, free electron it will be generated. Okay, free electron it will be generated. When the free electron it will be generated, still the equation number 1 it will be holds good, or the same, the equation number 1 it will be same, or the equation number 1 it will be changed. When you are adding the impurity, I am speaking. In the intrinsic, this equation is correct. But when you are adding the impurity, still you are going to get n will be equal to p. No, we are not going to get n will be equal to p. So when you are going to add the pentavalent impurity, n is greater than p. N is greater than p. Okay, so even the third statement also you can increase. Automatically, when the electron and hole concentration it's keep on increasing, not it will be same. ಈಗ pentavalent impurity add ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ electrons ಗಳು ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. That in that situation electron current it will be high, or electron current it will be dominating the whole current. Electron current it will be dominating the whole current. The same way, if you start keep on doping or adding a trivalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon atom, holes it will be created. So in that situation, hole current it will be dominating the electron current. Hole current it will be dominating the electron current. But this equation never same. This equation Ne is equal to NH, it will be become Ne is not equal to NH. When Ne is not equal to NH, automatically the current it will be start increasing behind the intrinsic current. Behind the intrinsic current. Okay, so in this all the three ways I am going to prove that extrinsic semiconductor it will be provide a better result than the intrinsic. Okay, so this is the disadvantageous part of the intrinsic semiconductor. Okay, so now with the knowledge of this intrinsic, we will move to the concept of extrinsic semiconducting material. Extrinsic material. Okay, so extrinsic means, once again I already told, it may be a pentavalent impurity you can add, or it may be a trivalent impurity you can add. If you are going to add a pentavalent impurity, that type of an impurity we are called as an donor impurity. That type of an impurity you are called as an donor impurity. If you provide a donor impurity to the purest form of the silicon atom, it will be contributing the free electron. It will be contributing the free electron. The same way, if you are providing or if you are adding a trivalent impurity to the purest form of the silicon atom, correct, that kind of an impurity we are called as an acceptor impurity. Acceptor impurity. When you are trying to add this kind of an impurity to the purest form of the silicon atom, it will be created a hole. It will be created a hole. In this particular N type, correct, so the electron current it will be dominating the hole current. In P type, the hole current it will be dominating the electron current. Okay, so hence in the extrinsic material we have a two category. Once again, the first one we called as an N type of an extrinsic material. The second category is P type, say, extrinsic material. Okay, in the tomorrow class we will discuss the fabrication process of N type semiconducting material and fabrication process of P type semiconducting material, and in your periodic table how many pentavalent impurities are there and how many trivalent impurities are there. If you are going to add the pentavalent or trivalent impurity, how the electron concentration it will be increased and how the hole concentration it will be increased. That extra generated electron when you are trying to add the pentavalent impurity, where it will be occupy the position of in the energy band, where it will be occupy the position of in the energy band. Yeah, how, I mean, if you are generating the holes, that holes where it will be accumulating or accommodating, correct? So this informations we will discuss in the coming classes. Okay, so I will stop today's class here. Okay, so now you people can ask a question if you have any doubt with respect to today's classes.
No, sir.
Anyone? If you have any doubt, any confusion, actually intrinsic and extrinsic semiconducting material, in the main examination they will ask for 8 to 10 questions. They are going to club both the topics, intrinsic as well as the extrinsic, for 10 marks. Okay, so there is no much mathematical model involved here. In the intrinsic also we have only 3 formulas. In the extrinsic also we have only two formulas actually. Only 5 formulas are there, and only the the related diagram. Along with the related diagram, we are going to provide the theoretical explanation. That's all. In the intrinsic, only one extra thing we are going to add: disadvantages of the intrinsic. Okay, or if you time permit, you can include some few applications of that also. Okay, so you will get a very good marks in your main examination if you follow this kind of schemes and evaluations and all. Okay.
So do you have problems in this topic?
Sorry. Yeah, we have a 2-3 problems on the first module. We will discuss at the end of the chapter. Excluding this topic.
Sir, ಯಾವ್ದು better sir?
Yeah, ಏನು ಯಾವ್ದಮ್ಮ?
Intrinsic extrinsic N type or P type sir?
Anything is fine. Both are same, but with respect to speed, with respect to current, I will conclude it in the next class actually. But ನೀನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಹಂಗೆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಒಂದು hints ನಾನು ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ. Correct? So if you generated the same number of electron as well as the hole ಅಂತ ನೀನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು ಕೂಡ, the electron current it will be dominating the whole current. Electron current it will be dominating the whole current. Correct? Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why? What is the reason for that? Same number of electrons are there, the same number of holes are there, but still electron current is dominating.
Electrons conduction band ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
Yeah, that is the one thing. The another thing is the velocity of the electron is more than the hole. The velocity of the electron is more than the hole. So ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲವು ಕ್ರೈಟೀರಿಯಾನ ನಾವು ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ obviously we are going to use the N type. We are going to use the N type semiconducting material.
Sir, extrinsical ಎರಡು ಸೇಮ್ ಇರಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ electrons ಮತ್ತೆ holes.
Exactly, that concentration it will be changing. Just I have given a comparison with respect to electron and hole separately. Now with the help of an electron, with the help of an pentavalent impurity, you are going to generate the 50 electron more. Okay, so I will give I will take one small analogy. Okay, the same way, if you are using the trivalent impurity, you are going to generate the 50 volts only. 50 electrons are there, 50 extra electron you have created, 50 volts you have created. Okay, so even this extra 50 electron it will be constitute a current, and this 50 holes it will be constitute a current. Okay, so when you are treating the electron current it will be separate and hole current it will be separate, and when you are going to, or when you are trying to gauge which current it will be maximum, electron current or hole current, in such situation electron current is maximum than the hole current, because of the velocity of the electron it will be more compared to velocity of the hole. The answer is very simple. You got my point?
Yes sir.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions?